Hello, everybody. I'm sorry that we got our time a little off. Had some slight difficulties with technology today. It wasn't being my friend. So I've moved to a new computer. I'm now down in the living room, and you probably can't see her, but my dog Isabel is right here with me. And if the mail carrier stops by the house, you will hear her barking. So I apologize in advance for that. But she also likes story time too. So. And today, I want to start by wishing you a happy Earth Day. This is the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and I was 5 years old for the first one, so I don't remember very much about it, but I'm very excited to be celebrating the 50th anniversary. So I'm wearing my special Earth Day shirt. I don't know if you can see it. I got my Earth Day shirt on, and we are celebrating here at my house today by taking flowers and spending time with you. So the book that I chose to read today is called The Lorax. It is one of my favorite books, and I often say that my job that I do because I work in conservation is to be a Lorax, because I too believe in this book before, but hopefully we'll enjoy this book together here now. So let's start. It is The Lorax by Dr. Seuss. It says, at the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells like slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing, excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. Looks kind of dreary, doesn't it? And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood, just as long as it could, before somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax? And why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere? From the far end of town where the grickle grass grows, the old Onceler still lives there. Ask him. Can you see the Onceler? I don't see him. Little boy looking. You won't see the Onceler. Don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, where he makes his own clothes out of muffled moof. And on special dank midnights in August, he peeks out of the shutters, and sometimes he speaks and tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you, perhaps, if you're willing to pay. You see him peeking out of the shutters? Let me help you. He's right there, peeking out of the shutters. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail, and the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. $0.15 and a nail. That's a funny price. Then he pulls up the pail, makes a most careful count to see if you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you paid him away in his snub, his secret strange hole in his groovelious glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper my phone, for the secrets I tell you are for your ears alone. He's counting his 15 cents and his nails and his great-great-grandfather's snail shell. Slup! Down slups the whisper phone to your ear, and the old onceler's whispers are not very clear, since they have to come down through a snurgly hose, and he sounds as if he had smallish bees up his nose. Sounding gray, how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long time ago. Look at that phone. That's a long phone. Way back in the days when the grass was still green, the pond was still wet, and the clouds were still clean. And the song of the swommy swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place. And I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright-colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. Look at those pretty trees. And under the trees, I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits as they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the rippleless pond came the comfortable sound of the hemmingfish splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees. All my life I'd been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I would do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I had built a small shop, and I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a thneed. What is a thneed? Have you ever heard of a thneed? I've not heard of a thneed. The instant I'd finished, I heard a gazoomp. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump. The tree I chopped down was sort of a man. Describe him? That's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy, and he spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Here's the thneed. And this was the little man that popped out of the stump. Oh, my fingers aren't working. Mister, he said with a sawdusty sneeze, I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. I speak for the trees have no tongues. And I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and puffed, what's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft? There's no cause for alarm. I chopped just one tree. I am doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a thneed. Thneed is to find something that all people need. It's a shirt. It's a sock. It's a glove. It's a hat. But it has other uses. Yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets, for pillows, for sheets, for curtains or covers for bicycle seats. The Lorax said, Sir, you are crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who would buy that full thneed. But that very next minute, I proved he was wrong. For just at that minute, a chap came along, and he thought that the thneed I had knitted was great, and he happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. I rushed across the room and in no time at all built a radio phone. I put in a quick call. I called on my brother. Here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast. Take the road to North Nitch. Turn left at Wee Holquin. Sharp right at South Stitch. There's his telephone that he built. That was pretty impressive. And in no time at all, in the factory I built, the whole Oncelet family was working full tilt. We were all knitting thneeds just as busy as bees to the sounds of the chopping of truffle trees. Then, oh baby, oh, how my business did grow. Now, chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffle trees at one smacker. We were making thneeds 4 times as fast as before. And that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. You count the axes? 1, 2, 3, 4. But the next week he knocked on my new office door. He snapped, I am the Lorax who speaks for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please. But I'm also in charge of the brown bobaloots who played in the shade in their bobaloot suits and happily lived eating truffle fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffle fruits to go round. My poor bobaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. Oops, this way. They loved living here, but I can't let them stay. They'll have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go. But business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies in tummies, you know. Well, I wonder how many there are. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, and they keep going all the way up around the bend. I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger. So bigger I got. I biggered my factory. I biggered my roads. I biggered my wagons. I biggered the load. Oops, sorry, there's my dog. The thneeds I shipped out, I was shipping them forth. I went right on biggering, selling more thneeds. I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax, he coughed and he wheezed. He sneezed and he snuffled. He snuffled and sniffed. Onceler, he cried with a cruffulous croak. Onceler, you're making such smogulous smoke. My poor swomey swans, why they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat. And so, said the Lorax, please pardon my cough. They cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They may have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you've smogged up around here. Once more, snapped the Lorax. His dander was up. Let me say a few words about glippity-glop. Your machinery chugs on, day and night without stop, making gluppity-glup, also schluppity-schlop. What do you do with this leftover goo? I'll show you, you dirty old Onceler man, you. You're glumping the pond where the humming fish hummed. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gummed. So I'm sending them off on their future. Oh, their future is dreary. But walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. So the fish are walking because they need clean water. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yell at the Lorax, now listen here, Dad. All you do is yip yap and say, bad, bad, bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I intend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm figuring on biggering and biggering and biggering and biggering, turning more truffula trees into needs, which everyone needs. And at that moment, we heard a loud whack. And from outside in the fields came a sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall, the very last truffula tree of them all. No more trees, no more needs, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waved me goodbye. They jumped into my cars and drove away under stars. All that was left, neath the bad-smelling sky, was my big empty factory, the Lorax, and I. There's all his relatives are leaving. Ants just gave me a very sad backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of his pants, and I'll never forget the grim look on his face when he hoisted himself and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog without leaving one trace. You see him lifting himself by the seat of his pants. And all the Lorax left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. That was long, long ago, but each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, while my buildings have fallen apart, I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the Onceler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax seems perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing's going to get better. It is not. So, catch, calls the Onceler. He lets something fall. It's a truffula seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffula seeds, and truffula trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffula, treat it with care, give it clean water, and feed it fresh air. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back. That is the end. So that's the Lorax. And what I like about this book is we really do all have a role and all have the power of planting seeds, maybe planting a tree, planting a flower, and doing things to help protect places where animals live, and protecting our trees, which give us clean air and clean water. We get food from trees. I like maple syrup. That's one of my favorite food from trees. That's what I like to have on my pancakes in the morning. But nuts, and there's a lot of other fun things that trees do. Maybe you have a swing on a tree, or maybe you like to sit under the tree or collect leaves. But all of these things are what trees do for us. And if we help to plant trees or care for trees, or if we help to do things around the house like recycle, or we pick up litter when we're out hiking in a park or a forest, these are all things that we can do to protect the earth. So I thank you for joining us today. I thank you for your patience, because I know we had a little difficulty, and we also had a puppy barking. But I hope you're having a great Earth Day. We have some fun things on our earthday50pa.org website, which maybe your parents will take you to, or your grandparents, or your bigger brother or bigger sister. There's some coloring pages, and there's all sorts of fun things. So let us know how you're doing. I hope you're having a great Earth Day, and thank you again for joining me. Bye.